All right, guys, we're here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I'm training with these two amazing individuals who have an amazing initiative. With the constraints of COVID, schools have been shut down and nobody has been able to train. And right now in the city, there's been a lot of cases where there's been assaults and self-defense is at an utmost important situation. So Diane took it on herself to use this time in order to do an amazing initiative. And I'd like you to kind of share with Diane and Alex to share kind of what this is about and what we got going on here.
Yeah, so thank you for that. It's needed. I think that, you know, as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt that's been doing this for a long time, seeing all the different experiences that I've had, that other people have had, you know, things that are happening out in the community, it's important, not just from the sports side of it, because I love the sports side of it, the competition side of it, all of that, training day to day, but it's also the self-defense side of it. So I think connecting those pieces where we can show value to people for the self-defense side, but then also show that the sport of it is really good too.
Amazing. And how did you two connect in order to do this?
Well, Alex and I've been training together for years now, training together, and Alex, you know, he's a big dude, and you know, he's one of my favorite training partners, and I think that's where I feel like the practicality of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has been really nice, is being able to have a training partner that's bigger than me and that I love training with, like learning off of each other, and having that, I think, makes it really practical, you know. And
techniques are designed so that the smaller person can defeat the larger one. So if we're both the same size, it doesn't really prove anything. Yeah,
if you're doing it right, it just shows, again, the practicality of it. But yeah, Alex has been helping me out. Like every time I'm like, hey, you got a community thing to do. Hey, you want to, you know, be my demo partner? He's always willing to make time. So I love that.
One of the most amazing things is that this is getting a lot of attention. We're getting international participants. We're getting coverage on all the radio stations. Why do you think this is such a thing that is needed and talked about right now?
Well, I think it hits close to home, you know, just getting the response that I did from this last one. So this is the second one recently this year that that has happened. And I think that when it hits close to home, it becomes more real, right? And there's a lot of stuff that's happening, you know, just in the amount of emails that I've received of people just sharing their stories of assault or, you know, abuse or whatever, you know, it's happening. And so when it hits close to home, it becomes more real for people.
We're just going to go over a couple of the skills from the seminar. I hope you guys stay tuned for that. But again, thank you so much for watching this, and stay tuned. We'll close up with where to find her and how you can help with the initiative.
All right, guys. So we're going to do a triangle choke from mount position. So when I get to the top position here, because I don't want to leave myself vulnerable to his bridges here, I'm gonna lift up. When I'm closer to his hips, he's able to bridge his hips up, kind of launch me forward. So what I want to do is bring myself into a higher mount, climb myself high underneath his armpits here. If he's got his elbows in tight, good frame, I can lift behind, scooping up and sliding in my knee as I go. If it's not as easy to grab underneath, I can use both hands 2-on-1 to press it up, even pin it down if I need to start climbing up, so that my knees come below his armpits here. From here, I can pin his arms down, start to come into that low mount position. Then I'm gonna slowly bring one knee over top of his arm and his shoulder. Okay, so I start to isolate the other arm now. I pass this arm across. Start to tighten up, close up the space, cinching my knees in super tight here. Lifting up his head to slide my foot underneath. Starting to create that triangle. See how I pivot to the side, using my hand, using my base, creating that space so that I can bring that foot, that ankle behind my other knee, and starting to close up. Bringing the knees tight, pushing down on that arm, bringing my weight down and pulling the head. Squeeze. right, this is another favorite position of mine, the closed guard. A really great lapel choke. So number one, you want to break down their posture. Prior to that, opening up their lapel, maybe just within the roll, it's already loose, but you kind of want to keep that eye on the prize here, which is the lapel. Once that's loose, you're going to break the posture. Grip up by the collarbone, grab behind the arm, use your legs, pulling your knees in towards your chest to keep them down. Wrap that arm around. From here, I keep that arm around the back of the neck to keep that posture, along with my legs, of course. Then I'm going to start feeding this lapel around his back. So what I love about this one is that it helps to maintain a good break in their posture, but at the same time, I start to set up this choke. Okay, I like palm down grip, palm up grip works as well, but you want to press that forearm into the side of their neck here. Then with the other hand, you're going to reach over to the other side, grab onto that fabric here, and you're going to press the elbows down and choke. Another great attack from the side control knee on belly position. Got your knee right in there. Your hands coming to defend. Weave your arm inside your hand. Press. Both hands on one. Shoulder lock and wrist lock at the same time. Another alternative, push the face, look around. Arm bar.
Wow, that was amazing stuff. Wasn't exactly in the self-defense, but she's a black belt and just dropped some major knowledge bombs. And thank you so much for sharing that with our martial arts community. Just want to wrap up with telling everybody where to find you, how they can get in contact, maybe your Instagram account will be fantastic.
Sure, yeah, my Instagram is just Diana Trang _. Don't forget that. Yep.
Diana Trang _. And perfect. What we normally like to end off with is a little bit about your martial arts journey. Why did you start in martial arts, and what has it done for you? Why this long journey in martial arts? Why work towards the black belt?
It's a loaded question. I could go on and on, on and on and on.
Let's hear.
But I started in 2001, and I still think to this day it's just fate kind of brought, as cheesy as that might sound, I think it's just fate kind of brought me to it. But I just wanted to get into a better place of fitness. I wanted to get in better shape. You know, I wanted to do something new. And to this day, I still don't know what it was that drew me to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because at that time, I had no idea what it was, but something drew me. And I showed up for my first class, got my butt kicked, and I loved it. So from there, I just signed me up, and every day has just been incredible. You know, the community for me has been a huge part of it. Obviously, like, there's the fitness aspect of it, the sport jiu-jitsu, competition. I love, you know, I've loved competitions, you know, the self-defense aspect of it, but the community, the people that I've been able to meet, like, this is a perfect example.
Right.
You know, martial arts community in general, across all, it's just connected me and created so many experiences for me that I have no words.
And this is one for both of you. How has the martial arts leaked into your day-to-day life? How has it affected your day-to-day life? Where do you see it show up?
Well, like you were mentioning, as we were doing our seminar, you know, there's this parallel that everything you do when you show up for yourself on the mats translates into your life. You know, hard challenges, hard rules, you know, having a hard time even showing up sometimes, it just creates that resiliency piece, I think, that just helps us in our everyday life.
Yeah, the trials that I go through in life, before I started training martial arts, they seemed really difficult for me to get through. And then once you start training martial arts and you put yourself in truly difficult situations, the rest of your life just sort of becomes easy. You know, you're having some stress with a coworker, no big deal. Someone threatens you in a bar, no big deal. I just carry myself now with a level of confidence that I can carry into, like, all of my everyday events. And yeah, it just makes me feel like a much wholer person.
Yeah. And stress relief, I think, too, you know, where it's like you have a bad day, you know, work, life, personal, whatever, you come here and this is like our therapy. It's like we say, our choke therapy or whatever it is, but it's like we come here to just be present with the art.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you give them a follow, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Peace.